Welcome to Knockhill Racing Circuit for the second round of the Scottish Formula Ford Championship. In today's programme, we're also going to have a look at the Fiestas a little bit later on. But first up, as ever, is the Formula Fords. And as ever, on pole position this season, the 25 machine of Neil MacLennan. Did a sterling job at the first round, taking a win in race number 2. And he started as he means to go on here with a pole position this morning in the wet conditions. But the man who challenged him at the first round, 33 machine, Jordan GRONKOWSKI, lines up alongside him. So these guys are going to give us some action at the front, I'm sure. And in third place is a great qualifying for Seb Melrose there. I think this is the highest up Seb's ever qualified, and I spoke to him in the cafe just before the race. He is hungry for a result and he wants to get stuck into these guys at the front. I'll hand it to Richard and he'll take us through their first race of the day.
Thanks, Joe. It is pole position for Neil MacLennan, a third career pole. Jordan GRONKOWSKI is alongside, then Seb Melrose and Jamie Thorburn, Matt Cowley and Matt Chisholm on row 3. Neil Broom is next, followed by David Thorburn and Ross Howe completing the grid. Starting sequence underway on the lighting gantry. 5 lights on now. We're looking immediately here at Jordan GRONKOWSKI, who starts very well indeed. But Neil MacLennan, that's why you have the advantage of pole position. That's what you qualify for. Wasn't quite as quick out of the blocks, but nonetheless quick enough to lead down into Duffer's Dip for the first time. Look how he's just using the wheel there, the lightest of touches on the steering wheel. And it goes to show what an art form it is racing these cars in the wet. Jamie Thorburn up to third, the white and blue car, followed by the red car. The driver with the yellow crash helmet is Seb Melrose, and right behind him Matt Cowley, who's going to have a good look here, I think. Comes offline slightly, gets out of the spray if nothing else, back out to the wide racing line as they go through Clark. And Matthew Cowley's going to have to content himself. We've got the safety car out now. Why is the safety car out? Probably something, or possibly something happening off the start. So Neil MacLennan is going to have to do it all again, with Jordan GRONKOWSKI in second place as the safety car will pick them up now. So Matt Cowley goes through in 5th in black and white. I'm just trying to work out, because we haven't seen on camera what's happened. Very late at the back of the field there, the red car coming into the back of shot is the Classic Class Championship leader, Matt Chisholm. And yes, he is going to come into pit lane. So Matthew Chisholm, if he was the cause of the safety car, it means we may well only get 1 lap behind the safety car. But having said that, I wonder if he is. We need to, there he comes into pit lane. He'll probably have some mechanics or engineers going over and just checking the car's okay, and maybe get back out. But we have got the safety car lights on, so it's MacLennan, GRONKOWSKI, Thorburn, Melrose, Cowley, Ross Howe and then David Thorburn. So we're also missing Neil Broom. Lights out on the safety car, which retreats to the infield on the tri-oval section, and Neil MacLennan will get the cars running again for what was going to be a 12-lap race, but we'll have added laps to compensate for the safety car. Green flags out, and in car once again with Neil MacLennan. Neil having shared the wins at the first round of the year with Jordan GRONKOWSKI, bringing Neil's career tally to 2. Jordan, who's had 9 wins, an incredible 49 podia so far for Jordan GRONKOWSKI. Started racing Formula Ford back in April 2011, so it's a long career for Jordan, the red and white car, and he's coming under a little bit of pressure now from Jamie Thorburn, who only debuted last year. The opening meeting last season has been a regular appearer on the podium, and Jamie Thorburn having, I think this is his 16th career start, if memory serves correctly. And they go up the hill, and it's MacLennan in front. A good pole position time for him today, 9/10 of a second quicker than Jordan GRONKOWSKI second, who in turn was fairly well clear of Seb Melrose, who we see now, the red car with the yellow crash helmet, also a Ray GR14 2014 built chassis, same as the race leader Neil MacLennan. And Matthew Cowley really getting stuck in here. and putting him under some pressure. Oh, and you can see Melrose very definitely under pressure. Sebastian Melrose looking for his first ever podium in Scottish Formula Ford racing, and Matthew Cowley wants one as well. So some definite pride at stake here. Matthew Cowley, who joined us towards the end of last season, and good to see him back in the championship, and it's a really good battle going on between the two. You can see Cowley, despite the spray, keeping right in the slipstream of that car. So is Matthew Cowley going to be able to get that machine up onto the podium? He's certainly trying. Wider line there. Melrose getting slightly defensive, and of course the full wet conditions, much better for overtaking, I guess, than partially wet, because if you've got a drying line, the drying line's going to be the much faster line to take, and then obviously much less grip on the wet line. So conditions here, not ideal for the drivers, but certainly good for racing. Cowley goes for the big sweep into the hairpin, looks to the outside line. This is a brave move. Can he make it stick on the outside? I've got to say, that was very good, clean, fair racing from the pair of them, and Matt Cowley goes up into third place, but straight back on the case goes the Bathgate racer, Seb Melrose, trying to come back into it. Back with the leaders. What a great race we've got on for third position, and as you can see, Neil McLennan affords a look in the right-hand mirror. He's on the last lap here at Knockhill for round 3 of the championship. Is this going to be a third career win for Neil McLennan to extend the 4-point championship lead that he carried forward from the April meeting, the 3rd of April here, when Gronkowski took pole position, the man behind him, and McLennan took fastest lap in race number 2, Jordan Gronkowski taking fastest lap in race number 1. So pretty much it was honours even at that first meeting, although Jordan wound up 3rd in the second race behind Jamie Thorburn, which is why he's not level on points with the championship leader Neil McLennan, who is very much on his way here. So it looks like a good drive, coming down into the hairpin for the last time. Car number 25. Neil McLennan is going to climb up the hill now. Jordan Gronkowski still giving chase, but there is the checkered flag. McLennan wins round 3. Gronkowski is second, and that battle for third place did go the way of Seb Melrose, a first podium for him. Matthew Cowley in 4th, and then David Thorburn ahead of Jamie Thorburn. Matthew Chisholm got back out on track. He finished in 7th. Ross Howell was 8th.
Neil, yet another win. What a great season you're having. I said to Jordan just beforehand there, you and Jordan are just starting to stretch ahead in the championship, but it's nice and tight as well. It's going to be a competitive year.
Yeah, really nice and tight championship. Jordan and me have been so close since the first race of the season, but to come away with another one today, I'm delighted, especially in the first race. But it was really close. I don't know what the times were, but the gap just didn't get any bigger or anything, so it stayed close, and just delighted I got another one. You know.
2 different chassis, 2 different engine builders, as Jordan's told us already. But where's his strengths? There must be an area on the track where you can think, all right, I'm quicker here, I'll breathe for a minute. And then there's areas on the track when he's quicker, or is it a level?
It looks pretty level to me. I think Jordan on the brakes is really late in the brakes, whereas I am quite early. But yeah, I find that myself. Every time I look in my mirror, he's coming into a corner, he's right on me, and then by the time I'm out of the corner, I've got the extra gap. But to me, I would say it's just the braking is the difference. But power-wise, I wouldn't say there's much power difference.
You were praying for dry last time because you had a wet race, you weren't happy with things, you couldn't get your head around it. Obviously, you've just won a wet race there. Some changes?
Been a few changes to the car.
To the car or to you?
To me, I think, as well. Being a lot smoother in the car definitely helps. And also, going into a corner slower, you know, it's helped me a lot. As last time I was trying to go in a bit too quick and coming out into oversteer, and just had problems with me thinking it was the car, but with me mostly I think it was just myself. So to come back again, and after watching a few footage from last month and learning a few other things, I've kind of picked up a few tips, and I think myself has helped. So yeah, delighted.
You put it to good use with a win. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Jordan, early days in the championship, but for me, you and Neil are starting to show us who's going to be fighting for this championship. There's 8 points in it now. Neil's had a couple of wins on the bounce, but it's all still to play for.
Yeah, of course. As you say, early days, so there's a lot to play for yet. But I'm just glad we're in the fight. To be honest, the last couple of seasons obviously been a bit hard work, and it's nice to be up challenging for the win. Congratulations to Neil. Obviously drove a perfect race there out front. Every time I got close, he got further away again. So yeah, it was pretty close between the two of us. So hopefully that'll be the trend going forward.
It's nice to see as well, two completely different manufacturers, two completely different chassis. I don't know who builds your engines, they might be different as well.
Different as well, yeah.
Different engine builders as well. It's great to see it, it's competitive.
Yeah, I mean that's what Formula Ford was the open chassis and obviously the different engine builders. So it's nice that we're able to take the fight to these guys with the Van Diemen chassis, and yeah, hopefully we can come out on top again next time.
Well done.
Cheers, thanks.
Seb, what a fantastic result. Great big smile on your face. First podium. I can remember my first Formula Ford podium and it felt like a win at the time. Just so much hard work to get there.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a win. I was just praying for the last lap boards to be coming out every single lap. But, I finally made the podium and it's a huge weight off my shoulders.
And the next one's a win. These third places are great, but they get old very, very quickly, and it's not going to be long before we see a win, I'm sure.
Yeah, I just have to stay focused and keep my head together and keep working the way I am, because it's working. I see, and I'm learning off Graham, Craig, who are mentoring me really well. And I just like to say thanks to Scott Waste Premier Commercial for sponsoring me today. It allows me to race and do what I love.
You've got another race this afternoon. The forecast is due to dry up. Is that a good thing for you, considering you've just scored your first podium in the wet conditions? Surely you want it to stay wet?
Yeah, well, I don't really mind what condition I race in, wet or dry. I love the wet because it's all we get up here in Scotland. So whatever weather, I'll race.
Well done. Really good to see.
Thanks a lot.
Race 2, Scottish Formula Ford, about to begin, and if you have a look, bone dry conditions and a bone dry track as well, which these guys are going to absolutely love. I think it's the first dry race that they've actually had this year, and on pole position, our race 1 winner and our pole man this morning, Neil MacLennan, as we like to call you. This is an important race for you. The championship's so tight, we reckon about 8 points that you've got. Jordan's hungry, he's quick in the dry. An important 10 minutes coming up.
Yeah, this is a really important race for me. Need to keep up top with the championship points, so just need to keep it clean, keep it smooth, and try to be as consistent as I can and bring it home in one piece and try to get a win at the end of the day as well. So we'll see how it goes, but all the best to Jordan as well.
You happier in the dry?
Yeah, a lot happier in the dry. I prefer the dry more than the wet, I find.
Less risky.
Yeah, a lot less risky, and the time, it's just, to me, I just like the dry a lot better. Everything is a lot faster and more controllable as well at the end of the day.
You've got a new sponsor on board that we forgot to mention after race 1 as well.
Yeah, Highland Industrial Supplies is helping us out for the rest of the year, so just delighted to have them on the side of the car and to get a win with their name inside the sticker for the first time as again. I'm just delighted to get a win as well. So with them inside the car, it's good to.
Good luck, Neil.
Cheers, thank you.
Have you ever seen anybody as calm before the start of the race? I'd be a bag of nerves, but Neil is out to try to win this one. I'm going to hand it to Richard and he'll take us through the second Formula Ford race.
I think Joe just put that Renat design graphic on the visor of pole position man Neil MacLennan. So it is MacLennan that starts on the front row, Jordan GRONKOWSKI alongside, then Seb MELROSE, Matt Cowley followed by David Thorburn and Jamie Thorburn alongside him, Matt Chisholm and Ross Howe, and Neil Broom hopefully will take to the start after the non-finish in race number 1. Neil is there, the white car, you can see just to the right of the rescue vehicle at the back. Lights on. Well, similar view to the start of race 1, apart from it's dry now. In car with Jamie Thorburn, and David Thorburn's got away well past Matthew Cowley. Thorburn J is going to look up the inside, but Cowley's on the outside line going down into Duffus. Thorburn takes it. Jamie Thorburn goes through on the inside as well. You can see Seb MELROSE is there as well in red. So cracking start by the look of it. Thorburn and Cowley following MELROSE, and having made another very good start is Neil MacLennan. So MacLennan's up there. I forgot, I think, to mention that Jordan GRONKOWSKI had the fastest lap in race number 1, an 11th career fastest lap, but a little bit of a milestone by my calculations, a 50th podium for Jordan GRONKOWSKI as Jamie Thorburn goes down the inside of David Thorburn and moves up into 4th place. So good move from Jamie. 6 career podia for Jamie Thorburn so far, and obviously wants to improve on that in this race, but he's got Seb Melrose up ahead of him after that cracking drive. Wonderful race between Melrose and Matthew Cowley in race number 1, and Jamie Thorburn on a little bit of a mission here and closing on Melrose very quickly. It was a huge gap at when they were down at the hairpin last time around. A little bit of a wide moment there for Neil Broome. So the white car, one of the 2 classic class cars, is busy at the moment chasing the classic class leader Matthew Chisholm, he's the reigning champion in that class. The classic class for cars manufactured before the 31st of December 1993, and that was altered last year as Matthew Cowley coming under a bit of pressure from David Thorburn in 70. So Thorburn sandwich going on there at the moment, and off track goes Seb Melrose, and look at the body language as he got out of the car. Extremely unhappy about that. So goes from that first podium. I love Joe's comment about how quickly podium finishes get old unless you move on. It was a really good way of summing up what happened. So Seb Melrose is going to wind up this meeting with big disappointment, but he will take the knowledge that he had a well-earned podium in race number 1 home with him and bring that knowledge back with him for our next meeting. So waved yellows there. Melrose becomes our first casualty of race number 2 here, round 4 of the championship. 25 points for a win, 20 for second place. So by my reckoning, Neil MacLennan pulled out another 4 points on Jordan Gronkowski in race number 1. It was 46-42 coming into the meeting, so I reckon the gap's 8 points now because Jordan got the point for fastest lap. But some good action going on, and great to see these guys getting the chance to do some dry running. There is Jamie Thorburn. Matthew Cowley is currently in 4th place, and then David Thorburn followed by Matthew Chisholm. So Chisholm at the moment having the legs on Neil Broome, but not by much. Neil Broome in white is not too far behind Matthew Chisholm, so he may well have a Class B or Classic Class scrap on before the end of the race. Got Ross Howe at the back there, car number 29. Matthew Chisholm starting to close up now on David Thorburn, so Thorburn running in 5th place at present. The race leader though is getting a real crack on, so Neil MacLennan here has got the fastest lap of the race thus far. You probably gathered, like I did from the interviews, that he prefers the dry conditions, and Jordan Gronkowski was very, very quick indeed in the wet, couldn't get the win, but that fastest lap, that point might come in handy before the end of the year. But MacLennan here looking to bag a 4th career win. It will be, if he does it, his first double here at Knockhill, so that's another milestone for young MacLennan if he does it. There is Jordan Gronkowski looking for the 51st career podium, and Jordan having had 60, that was his 70th start as well, race number 1. This is his 71st career start, so he's been on the podium for most of the races that he started. Matthew Chisholm closing up now on David Thorburn. Thorburn in blue, and Chisholm, remember, running in one of the older class cars, but it still seems to run very well despite that visit to the pits in race number 1. He got out, got the point, so his defence of the Classic Championship well underway. Past the stricken car of Sebastian Melrose, who'll be somewhat frustrated to be watching this race from the marshal's post at Clark Corner. Is Chisholm close enough to have a go now as they come down into the hairpin? Let's have a look. He's taking a wide line. This could be about a run up the hill, out of the corner on the inside line. He takes a wide sweep around that corner, so not about a move here, or is it? Because he's very close indeed. Moves to the right-hand side, sorry, the left-hand side, as we look at the cars going up the hill, and he's putting the pressure on. Meanwhile, the last lap for the race leader, Neil MacLennan. This is going to be his first double here at Knockhill Circuit, gaining experience. The youngster who will probably want to move up the racing ladder like so many other former champions have done here in Scotland, and he's got a good lead. You can't see Jordan Gronkowski in shot at all, so Gronkowski still in 2nd place, and he's about 4 seconds down as they went across the line on the last lap. Into Clark for the last time for the race leader. He's actually got enough of a lead here that he could make a mistake. I won't use the cliche that he could get out and push the car, because clearly that's not the case. There's Gronkowski, back of shot, 4 seconds. I think Jordan now is probably resigned to second place points, and it's going to be another 5 points lost on the championship at this early stage of the season. But the checkered flag is ready and waved. A third win of the season for Neil MacLennan. Jordan Gronkowski takes second place. Third place is going to go to Jamie Thorburn. A fine drive. Jamie 6 on the grid, up to third place at the end. And let's take a look at the official result. Neil MacLennan win and fastest lap. Jordan Gronkowski second from Jamie Thorburn. Matt Cowley is next. Matthew Chisholm got the better of David Thorburn. Then it was Neil Broom and Ross Howe in 8th. Sebastian Melrose non-finish.
Neil, fantastic result there. I got you to mention your sponsor before the race because I thought, just in case Neil doesn't make the podium. But what was I thinking? It was always going to happen. A great result, extending the championship lead.
Yeah, delighted with another second win for today, and delighted it dried up too, because I love the dry at this place. So yeah, been a really good day. Can't thank the team enough, and all my sponsors and the rest of the team just made the car 100% perfect the whole day, and it's just been great so far.
It's going to be a really tough year because Jordan's consistency, even though you're taking win and win and win now, it's starting to get onto a bit of a roll for you with the winning. He's still there picking up the second places. You're not extending away as much as you'd like.
Yeah, he's definitely still there. The gap in the wet this morning didn't get any bigger or didn't get any closer, it just stayed the same. So if I made one mistake, that was it. He was going to be right on me. So this year I think myself, I can't afford to make mistakes, and I just need to keep the head down and be consistent, I think. So I'm just going to try go with that and see how we get on. But it's easy to say, but it's quite hard to do in the car at the right time. So, you know, it's been good, and so far this weekend's been great. So, delighted.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Jordan and the little one, I'm chuffed on the podium here for you. A great result. Championship just starting to stretch out, but it's not a disaster.
No, exactly. We're a lot more competitive than we've been in the past. We're just gradually getting the car the way we want it. Slightly off there in that race, just every lap a little bit losing, but no, we're definitely on the forward path, and yeah, I look forward to fighting again next week. Next time. Just have to say a happy birthday to Holly, who is 2 today.
2 today.
How old are you, Holly? 2. There you go. Lovely.
Are we happy with Daddy's performance?
Did Daddy do well?
A small nod. You'll take that. You'll take that. Let me ask you, developing this car, all the testing that you do has been in the wet. So when we see you in the wet, that's when you're more competitive. When it dries, I'm guessing you haven't had as much testing, so you haven't developed as much in the dry.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's to be fair, we've had some dry runs as well, but no, it's just the final little step to make. The car is brilliant in the wet, and I think this morning we tried to do something else with it, setup-wise, to get a bit more pace, but end up slowing us down. So I still think we've got great pace in the wet. The car's fantastic, but yeah, we just need to sort out the dry. There's just a little bit of tweaking. This is not quite where I'd like it to be, especially in Knockhill, as you know, such a technical track, so you just need it to be exactly where it needs to be, and we'll get there.
Well done.
Cheers, thank you.
Jamie Thorburn, a great result, back on the podium there. You slipped off the podium this morning to your teammate, which I'm sure you didn't mind. It was a great result for Seb, but back where you belong.
Yeah, it's great to be back up on the podium. This morning was a bit of a disaster, spinning at the chicane and then kind of being driven off the road at Clark's, but glad to recover and repay the team for all their hard work in between races with some trophies.
What can you do now? You need to see a win there. Neil and Jordan are starting to stretch away in the championship. If you're going to make any inroads, it needs to be soon.
Yeah, kind of 2 wins at next meeting would be the best, but Neil's flying at the moment, so yeah, we kind of have the same pace as Jordan, so maybe next weekend we'll be finishing second, and hopefully then we'll be able to attack Neil.
Well done.
Thank you very much.